What up, guys? Your boy Quake back with a brand new episode of the Diverse Mentality Podcast, number 368. I got good news and bad news. I know you guys are going to hate me for this, but I'm not going to be doing any rankings of anything right now. No opinion-based stuff on this podcast episode. I've been doing way too much other things right now. I finally got the Sha Money XL interview out, so that's the good news. You guys, if you are a Patreon member on the Rich Gang and Staten Island tier, you get that automatically. And if you are a Rich Gang YouTube member on the YouTube side of things, you get that full interview automatically as well. That interview took way longer than I thought to edit and add my voiceovers and stuff like that. And it just took way too long. And now I'm finally focused on documentaries and getting some new documentaries out, which is really cool. I'm excited about that because I haven't done that in a long time. And I want to get back to doing more of those, honestly. I think I've kind of this year, I've done a lot of testing on the channel and it's really backfired. A lot of the views haven't gone to what it used to be at all, which is unfortunate. A lot of it's like right now, for example, I dropped the Sha Money interview, part 1, and it got 800 views in literally a day, which is the worst I've ever had a video perform, like ever. I just don't understand. I think with the artist interviews, something's going on where it's just not getting pushed. I don't know. I talked to a YouTube specialist today. I was talking with them for, I believe, 2 hours. Just trying to figure out what is going on with the channel and why isn't this getting pushed. And they gave me a bunch of, this and this could be this. And I'm just like, I don't know, man. I have to really figure out what's going on. I think the content, I don't know. The content's great. A lot of people love it. On other social media platforms, it's doing amazing. Then you go on YouTube and it's like, what's going on, right? I do the game and I respond to game, and all that stuff. It does 20,000 on YouTube views. Not bad, decent. But then you go on Instagram and you go on TikTok and I'm doing hundreds of thousands of views like it's nothing. So I don't know what's going on the YouTube side of things. Something's going really weird there. So I got to figure that out. So I'm going to go back to doing my documentaries mainly. I will be dropping, obviously, the Sha Money stuff, all that. But I don't know. I'm going to have to see in the coming months, maybe just take these interviews and just drop the parts on the podcast side of things. Or maybe just start a whole new channel that says Diverse Mentality Interviews. I don't know. I'm going to have to figure that out, though. I think this year was a test run, and it just did not go how I wanted it to. But who knows, man? It could just be a moment right now. It could be, I don't know. I have to figure it out. But I'm making a lot of great connections behind the scenes, which is really cool, on and off on phone calls. So there's a lot that I'm doing that, has taken time away from certain things, especially documentaries. I need to get back to that. That's my, core of why a lot of people, know me and recognize me and all that stuff. So I need to, the next one I'm dropping should be, probably give it a week. I want to say a week and a half, maybe, and I should have that out. It's essentially a mini documentary again. It's about 15 to 20 minutes long, but it's an interesting story that nobody's ever covered. So I like those things where it's like a story that nobody's ever talked about. That's where I had the major success with the G-Unit Chain documentary, because nobody ever put the pieces together and actually talked about it. I was the first one, and then after that, you saw a bunch of people making their versions of it and just copying and pasting basically what I did. That's what I like. I like to do some new stuff that people aren't covering, stuff that, is just interesting in itself. And I will still be doing the artist interviews. I'm just not going to dedicate, I'll drop the Sha Money one. I will drop the Kid one that I did a long time ago. So I'm going to be dropping a lot of older interviews just on the main channel, just to get people to watch them again, or, people who've never seen them watch it. So the interviews will be coming, but right now I'm not, that's not my main focus, for a brief, for 3 or 4 months, it was my main focus, which was when I first did the first one, which is Hot Rod, and then I did Young Buck and then DT. For those 2 to 3 months, that's all I was focused on. And, cause I just wanted to see how it would perform. And some of them did good. Some of the Buck clips got 50,000, 70,000 views, whatever, which is good per clip to drop. If you're doing anywhere from 50 to 100,000 views per clip, that's great. That's nothing more than you can ask for. It's not like every clip, not even Vlad. If you look at Vlad's channel, not every clip he drops does. There's some clips that do 30,000 views in a day, some that do 20,000, some that do 100,000, some that do 400,000, like the Yayo one just recently did in a day. So it just depends, For me, I would be happy if each clip did anywhere from 10 to 30,000 views. That would be a good, but there's some clips that, like I said, with this Sha Money one, the first one I just dropped, 800 views in a day. That's the worst I've ever had a video perform. But we push on, we keep going, and this is what it is, man. Tests and trials and a lot of different things. I'm not a big media company. I don't have labels pushing me. I don't have shit that anything backing me or, putting money behind me. Other platforms, they have major cosigns. They got me. Basically, it's just me, my editor for the podcast, and I got another guy helping me on social media. And we're trying our best to kind of make things go. So work with me, just wait, be patient on certain things. Yes, some things will take a little bit longer, but I'm telling you, there's always a reason why things take longer and why certain routes have to be longer. And it always works out in the end. I've always noticed that. I mean, I had so many issues with so many things, and then as the years went on, they just worked themselves out. And that's where I believe in this situation as well. It's going to work itself out. It's just there's a lot that I'm testing and trying and making new connections behind the scenes with a lot of people that could potentially lead to other things. And so there's just a wave of things that are going on. So that's I always start these podcasts with like me talking about some random shit, which I don't know if you guys enjoy that or just are like, man, get to the shit, Quake, stop talking like this. But yeah, let's get into the news. And there's quite a bit that there is to go over, which is really nice because sometimes there's some days where the news there's nothing there. So Lil Durk wants the judge removed. So let's go over this. Lil Durk's legal drama continues, and now his team accuses prosecutors of keeping important information to themselves. They're demanding Magistrate Judge Patricia Danu be removed from the case, allegedly for disturbing voicemails. Allegedly November 4. Disturbing voicemails were left for her earlier this year. In them, the mystery caller mentioned Durk in particular, along with his co-defendant, DeAndre Wilson. They made it clear that they want both of them released, also allegedly threatening to kill Judge Duneen. They said, if they get life, I'm going to burn this explosive, which is this motherfucker probably down. They allegedly declared, I'm talking about the world, and I'm going to burn it to the ground. It only took a few days for the FBI's Joint Terrorism Task Force to get involved. The defense, on the other hand, allegedly didn't hear about the incident for several months. So Durk's motion also cites an alleged threat that made against AUSA Ian Yelnaro and those working at the courthouse in April. His team argues that the alleged concealment of this information is a violation of his due process rights. The integrity of criminal prosecution depends on transparency and impartiality. Attorney Drew Findling writes, here both were fatally compromised because those violations strike at the core of due process and the constitutional guarantee of receiving fair hearings in front of an impartial decision maker. A dismissal is the only adequate remedy. Yeah, so I don't know. They're probably going to potentially remove the judge. And I don't, I really don't understand why. I get it's a celebrity, but I don't understand why a lot of this information is public. Like, why do we have to know who's the judge in this situation? And, I think there needs to be certain, obviously the people that are in the trial and the defendants and the prosecutors, they all need to know the information, right? That makes sense. Who the judge is and blah, blah, blah. But the public, I don't know. There needs to be more discretion because this type of shit does happen. And it could, get a judge killed and get a jury killed and get, because some of these things are just dead serious and mean a lot to a lot of people because Lil Durk getting locked up caused a lot of people not to, get money like they usually do. So we'll see what happens. But there's a lot of twists and turns with this. I don't think they're going to go to trial when they plan on. I think it's going to get pushed back one way or another because of all this stuff going on. I just don't see it happening. I don't know when the trial is. I think in January is what they planned it on. That's not going to happen, especially if it's in January. That shit ain't happening. But we'll see what happens moving forward. Drake has officially filed an appeal, and he's released essentially a statement, and he's doubling down on his original lawsuit. Let's go over this. Although Drake remains as dominant and successful as ever in his career, the Kendrick Lamar beef continues to provide some big obstacles. He tried to sue UMG for defamation over Not Like Us diss track, but the court dismissed it. Still, this doesn't mean the fight is over for the OVO mogul. According to All Hip Hop, his lawyers just filed a civil appeal pre-argument statement in the U.S. Court of Appeals, doubling down on their appeal efforts. Per the publication, the statement accused Universal Music Group of knowingly publishing and promoting unambiguous and false factual allegations of pedophilia in the song. Attorneys also brought up the record's artwork, promotion, and music video. They reportedly plan to discuss much more in the appellate court. Elsewhere, the filing also accuses UMG of malicious intent to prove its worth to KDOT via a short-term exclusive contract. This contrasts in Drake's attorney's view to how his contract with the label allegedly expired without renegotiation. As such, they believe Universal Music Group knowingly pushed defamatory images in pursuit of profit and financial gain. In addition, the filing reportedly mentions the attacks on Drizzy's home and threats to his loved ones. Also, it claims that he tried to reason with UMG concerning this effect, but that they didn't stop promoting Not Like Us. You may remember how Grammy wins and a Super Bowl halftime show slot also came up in the original lawsuit. As for Kendrick Lamar and UMG, neither party has publicly commented on this appeal. In fact, beyond a jab during the Super Bowl, the Compton lyricist hasn't talked about the situation directly at all. Yeah, man, Kendrick Lamar. This is what I'm saying, man. I wish we got interviews, man. In today's time, it's like Kendrick just drops project, disappears, never talks about anything. And then this goes away as the years go on. Nobody ever asks him because, time's flown and people just, I don't think people give a shit after a while. And, it's like there's too much shit. Like, especially like, imagine Eminem's career, right? It would have been cool to have him speak about, like, what did you think when 50 Cent and the Game were beefing? Like, what was your take on it? Did you give 50 advice? Were you like, nobody's really asked him like questions about just moments that happened that he just hasn't done interviews about. There's just like, I don't know, there's moments where I would love to know what some other artist was thinking at the time, or what that artist specifically was thinking at the time. And I feel like a lot of artists nowadays just don't address those situations. They'll probably do an Instagram post or like that Super Bowl thing quick. It's like, I wish we got interviews, man. I wish it was mandatory for like every artist to do a sit down interview every time they did an album rollout. Like when GNX came out, like there would have to be, I wish it was mandatory for him, like in the contract with Universal or whatever, for him to sit down and do at least 3 interviews. Something like that. Something where it's like you have to at least do something. But nowadays it's turned into a really just drop an album, surprise drop an album, shoot a couple of music videos, if that, and then go on about your business. It's really unfortunate. I think that's why hip hop is slowly dying as well. Because I think, let me just check just to make sure. Let's see if Morgan Wallen does interviews. I'm just genuinely curious here. He's like one of the biggest fucking country people ever. Let's see. Morgan Wallen 6 months ago. Morgan Wallen 7 months ago. The series featuring Morgan Wallen 4 days ago on Spotify. Morgan Wallen on Problem Taking Accountability, Apple Music 6 months ago. Morgan Wallen on E! News 6 months. Yeah, so he's doing interviews, bro. He's doing interviews. There's nothing more you can say about that. He's doing interviews. Post Malone does interviews. He's out here killing it in the country world. Let's see Taylor Swift. Does she do interviews? I don't think she does. She's probably one of the few that doesn't. No, look, like Taylor Swift was on fucking The Tonight Show 1 month ago. She was on BBC Radio. This is Taylor Swift, and I'm genuinely surprised. She's on Apple Music doing interviews. She's on The Tonight Show with Jimmy Fallon. She's on Capital FM doing interviews. Like, this girl's doing interviews as if she's some artist that's selling 10,000 copies. She sold 4 million copies, and she's out here doing interviews like it's like her career depends on it. And here we are. We got Kendrick Lamar with one fucking Apple Music interview before the Super Bowl show, and that's it. What is going on in hip-hop? This is why hip-hop is dying as a fucking art form. And it's not just solely because of interviews. I know I'm not putting the blame solely on interviews and saying, oh, it's because. But like, why are hip-hop artists acting like they're just better than everything and they don't have to do interviews? Like, why? When did this become a cool thing? Like, when did this? I think I blame this shit on Jay-Z. I swear. It's somehow tied to Jay-Z. This podcast just needs to be called the Rock Nation Conspiracy, because Jay-Z wouldn't really do interviews like that. I just remember he would be a person that wouldn't run around doing interviews later on in his career. Obviously, in the 2000s, everybody had to do interviews. There was really no choice. But as the social media stuff it became less and less accessible. I think that just made people do the same shit, man, follow his path. I don't know. I don't know who to point the finger at and be like, this is the person as to why people aren't doing interviews anymore. I don't think it's Jay-Z's fault, because Eminem stopped doing interviews after like Recovery, Marshall Mathers LP2. He did a few here and there, maybe if we're lucky. But it's just corny, man. It has turned into the wackest shit in hip hop ever. Like, I'm going on a whole rant here because it's like Taylor Swift. This lady moved 4 million albums and is doing interviews as if she's a brand new artist. She's on every platform doing every interview. Like, what happened to that? Why didn't, when Eminem did the Death of Slim Shady, why not go around, go on The Breakfast Club, do an interview, go on Drink Champs, go on Diverse Mentality, this platform that really respects you. Go on, I don't know, any platform, do multiple, don't do an interview with yourself. Like, that's so corny. It's just whack. Drake as well. Drake's out here doing interviews with some random ass girl and random ass people. Just like, come on, man. What happened to doing, like, shout out here, because I wanted to talk about this actually on the podcast. Shout out to the Clips, man. Shout out to the Clips. Their album perfectly encapsulates, is that the right word? Encapsulates the 2000s in hip hop the best way in a modern style. Their album sounds like a 2000s hip hop album, but in a modern style. It is very well executed, man. The more and more I listen to this project, the more I'm very appreciative of it. On top of that, they went and did interviews with literally everybody. They didn't sit there and just drop a fucking album and a music video and disappear. Like, they went out and did interviews. It felt like a 2000s promo run. And shout out, round of applause to them, man. Not only did they release an album that sounds very good, unique, different, but they also did a run that was unique. And it's crazy that we're saying doing interviews to promote your album is a unique and different run. That's crazy to say that. Like, that should be a norm. That's what the norm was. So shame on all these hip hop artists who act like they're bigger than fucking life and just don't do interviews. Like, that's so, because we're going to get all these moments. Like, how great would it have been? Shout out to Eminem, because he actually did this. And when he was beefing with Machine Gun Kelly, like, he went and did an interview. Yeah, was it a safe interview with Sway? Yeah, it was. But at least he did an interview and he addressed what was going on. That's what we want. When Drake and Kendrick were going at it, how cool would it have been for both of them to eventually do an interview talking about it? To get the deeper meaning, the deeper things in this. Instead, both fucking cowered away. One guy started doing interviews with some fucking random girl, and I don't know who else the fuck he did interviews with. Just terrible interviews that had nothing to do with hip hop. And then one guy just fucking drops a project and disappears into oblivion like he never existed. Both are whack as fuck for that. Both are. I don't know how I went on this tangent. I think it's because of the Double Down UMG. No. Yeah. I don't know. Regardless, man, I would have liked for them to speak on these things during, the issues. Now, who knows if they're ever going to talk about it? Years down the line, if anyone's ever going to ask them about it, who knows? It's just whack. It's corny, and this is why. This is one of the reasons. I'm not saying this is the main reason, because definitely it's not the main reason, but it's one of the reasons why hip-hop is slowly fading away as a genre. Because the artists act like they're too big to do interviews. They act like they're these celebrities, these high. When you got Taylor Swift, who sold 4 million. If anyone shouldn't be doing interviews, if anyone should act like they're the biggest ever, it should be Taylor Swift. Yet you got so many Taylor Swift interviews out when her album came out. She literally, I can go right now on YouTube, and I already went through and found 7 to 8 brand new interviews that dropped a month ago when her album came out. Because she doesn't act like she's above things. She sits there, does interviews, and does her promo. What happened to that? You rappers that are hiding and not doing interviews and acting like you're bigger than life, stop it. It's corny. It's whack. It takes away from a lot of shit. It's stupid. Look at the Clips. Perfect rollout. Perfect album. Anyways, I'm repeating myself at this point, but you get what I'm saying. Yeah, we'll keep our eyes out on this UMG appeal statement and see what happens moving forward. Biggie's estate is suing a publicist, so let's go over this. In July of this year, Biggie's son, CJ Wallace, was hit with a lawsuit by an anonymous man who was later confirmed to be publicist Jonathan Hay. In the lawsuit, Hay alleges that Wallace was part of a group of men responsible for luring him into a Revolt TV location back in 2020. Upon arrival, Diddy allegedly tried to force him into oral you-know-what before telling him they'd no longer be working together. Hay also accused Diddy of basically stroking his chicken into Biggie's old T-shirt. That's crazy. And throwing it at him, groping him, and more. Now, there are reports that Biggie's estate is fighting back. A new lawsuit alleges that Hay started to push false and malicious narratives about the late icon's son because the estate refused to release his 2020 Ready to Dance remixes. The estate points out that Hay previously had nothing but nice things to say about Wallace. I have absolutely loved working with CJ and you guys, as it's truly been an honor and a privilege, Hay wrote back in 2021. I have no issues whatsoever with anyone else outside of Willie. It's been a complete joy working with you all. The state is seeking compensatory and punitive damages and alleges that Wallace has lost work thanks to Hay's allegations. At the time of writing, Hay has not publicly addressed the lawsuit. Diddy's team previously denied Hay's allegations on his behalf. Mr. Combs' trial and acquittal of on trafficking and RICO charges proves what we have been saying all along. Mr. Combs never sexually assaulted or trafficked anyone. They stated the police continued to broadcast and file false accusations, no matter how heinous and uncorroborated it is. Unfortunate, but Mr. Combs will not back down. He will fight for as long as necessary to win this full vindication. Crazy, 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 man. Lawsuits are just ridiculous. And you got to think, man, the problem with all this stuff is headlines. There's a lot of headlines of the stuff, but people don't report like the stuff that happens after a lot of the time. So yeah, we'll see what happens moving forward, but it looks like Biggie's estate might have a legitimate case here and basically suing right back at him, because who knows? Doesn't seem like it's legit, especially if the guy loved and showed love to them in 2021 when he accused all this stuff happening in 2020. You know, it's like, hey, I would not show love to people that literally nutted on nutted on Biggie's t-shirt and then threw it at me. It's such a wild, I never thought those words would be coming out of my mouth. That's crazy accusation, but we'll see what happens moving forward. Wale, man, shout out to Wale. He's somebody who's shown love to my content, so shout out to you, Wale. I need to check out the album. I have definitely slept on that album, so I need to check that out. But Wale, like a good artist, has been promoting his album, doing interviews. Like I said earlier, artists should be doing that. Shout out to him. And he just dropped his new album, Everything Is a Lot, and chose to stop by Hot 97 with Ebro, Peter Rosenberg, and Laura Stiles, the same three guests for the past 30 fucking years, because Hot 97 refuses to hire some new people, to have some fresh faces. That's why a lot of these radio stations are dying out, because it's all keep the old people in and don't keep the new people in. It's all about, anyways, I'm gonna have a whole rant on that. But yeah, these radio stations need to start freshening shit up. Regardless, Wale, to his credit, decides to confront Ebro about his comments about Lil Uzi Vert back in 2016, when he said that Lil Uzi Vert is not going to be a rock star. Like, he's not going to be anybody special in the music industry. Essentially, he's not going to be selling out stadiums, all this stuff. And, Wale confronts him about it. So let's play the clip.
I got to say something, man. And by the way,
then you got into what? Yachty, right? Or Uzi, one of them?
Uzi.
Nah, I never got into it.
Oh, you said Uzi wasn't going to be something?
Nah, Uzi didn't want to rhyme over a certain beat. And then he was like, I'm going to be a rock star. And I said to people,
this ain't a Mandela effect thing.
The rock star thing.
This ain't a Mandela.
Yeah,
he ain't going to be like he ain't going to blow up or something like that.
No,
I
he
didn't say
said
that.
rock star.
Oh.
He said he was going to be a rock star. And I said, we're going to decide that.
He is.
I mean, he still ain't sold out no stadium.
I mean, rock stars don't need to sell out a stadium.
They do.
What about
you ain't a star?
No. Rock star is a rock star.
Says who?
The culture.
Nah.
Yeah.
No.
Don't he got
I
like
disagree.
Don't he got like 2 diamond singles?
Okay, 2 singles. Where them albums?
I'm just
What we
saying
doing with
2
these
diamond
albums?
singles, bro. That's
Y'all
a rock-
be lowering the
and then-
bar.
and no,
Y'all
and
be
then-
lowering
and
the
then-
bar.
And then also is his influence too. That makes you a rock star, and his influence is undeniable.
So he's a rock star.
There you go.
So listen, with that measurement, don't be mad when we lower the bar and people don't give shit its proper due, because we lowering bars out
We
here.
ain't talking about the best lyricist. We ain't talking about that. He's in his genre. He's a rock star.
What genre is that?
It's like a subgenre of hip hop, but like it's still evolving. It's not, you know what I'm saying? But you know the genre. Whatever it say, right in their little circle in Apple, similar to
No,
they
it
all
says hip
similar
hop
to
rap.
so-
It says hip hop rap.
But
That's what it
all
says.
the people that they say compare whatever the thing is, that's the genre.
All right. So he's a rock
big
star.
dog SoundCloud guys that evolve.
I stand corrected. Clip this for the internet. Uzi Vert is a rock star.
You don't mean
How
it,
long before
Ebro.
that? There you go.
There
You
you go.
don't mean it.
There it goes. Never fails.
You don't mean it.
Never fails.
Why don't I mean it?
Well, you just don't.
Listen, I'm an old head. Rock stars are like Jimi Hendrix and Bon Jovi and shit. You know what I'm saying? They got hits consistently. Man, they selling tickets.
If those guys had to come out in this era when there's a million songs a day coming out.
Oh, woe is me. There's too many artists. There's too many streams. It's too hard.
We would have never heard Eleanor Rigby if like there was a gazillion bands
woe is
out.
me. If you put certain shit next to your name, and you want that moniker, in my opinion, if you want to be a pop star, rock star, you want to be compared to MJ, you want to do all this shit, everybody want to put their chests out. When motherfuckers critique you for falling short, don't tighten up.
Are you recanting your initial statement that we just used for the clip? It seems like you're taking it back.
Feels like a full recant
now, it seems like you take it back. And
this is the real
I stand corrected.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is
Uzi Vert is a rock star.
No. Interesting conversation. There is certain things that I agree with and certain things that I don't agree with, right? Lil Uzi Vert hasn't sold out stadiums from what I'm aware of. Let me actually see this. Lil Uzi Vert sold out stadiums? Just curious, because I'm going to be having this conversation a little bit later. AI, and this is Google AI, says he has sold out stadiums in Philadelphia, Cincinnati, Houston. Let's see. His Pink Tape tour shot. Yeah, but they said this about, I'll talk about this Drake thing a little bit later, but you know, the Kendrick Lamar and him breaking records and stuff. So I don't know if he's officially sold out stadiums. It says here via AI, but AI can get it wrong a lot of times, but that's something I have to look into. He does have one diamond single with XO Tour Life, and it's sold 14 million so far, the single. Ebro said, what about the albums? What about the albums? Well, in today's climate, singles are selling way more than albums. That's just the reality situation. Back in the 80s, 90s, 2000s, it was mainly the albums. That's why when you see let's just say Nelly, you'll see his album, what's the first one, man? Country Grammar is diamond. But then you look at the singles and they're nowhere near that. They're usually 2 times platinum, 3 times platinum, if you're lucky, 4 times platinum. But in today's time, artists, their singles are like diamond, fucking all these numbers, crazy numbers, but their albums are like, let's say Lil Uzi Vert has XO Tour Live. Let's see what albums that's off of. Let's see what that album is at, because I don't know what album that is off of. It might be, I love that XO Tour Live record, by the way. Probably one of my favorite songs from him. But it is off the project Love is Rage 1.5 and Love is Rage 2. So let's go to I think Love is Rage 2 is the actual full project. Love is Rage 2. Let's see what that is in terms of platinum status, or what status is that at in terms of RIAA certifications. Okay, so 5 times platinum on an album. Let's see here. Love is Rage 2. Yeah, the last certification was end of 2024, December 2024. So that's not that long ago, literally about to be a year ago. That's a very recent certification. 5 million sold on that. Technically, streams and all this stuff, not physical CD sales, but whatever. So 5 million and a diamond single, that's pretty good. Now, does he have that consistently? I don't know. You can make the argument he doesn't. Eternal Take, that is at 3 million sold. The other album, Pink Tape, is at 1 million sold. So, rock star, the definition has been changed over the years, I think rock star is how you're influencing people, the culture, and just art of the artists and stuff. What your impact is when you're performing, how many people show up and show out for you. So I think to a certain extent, Lil Uzi Vert proved Ebro wrong, but I can understand where Ebro's coming from. He's not out here, selling out 100,000, 80,000, 60,000, stadiums and doing world tours. And, I think that those days of having a superstar at that level, to me, in my eyes, is forever gone. Because think about an artist that came out in the last 5 years that's reached that level where they're touring the whole world and just selling out, 40,000, 50,000 stadiums. And I can't think of one. I really can't. I don't know when Morgan Wallen came out, but he's not out here globally. Like, people don't know Morgan Wallen outside of America for the most part. There's a couple artists that are doing great in numbers and stuff, but they're not out here like touring the whole world. And like, I saw Michael Jackson doing a fucking show, and I think that the capacity was like 140,000 people. and like everybody was fainting, and it was like the craziest, like it was a sea of people. Like it was insane. Like that, they don't have that anymore. There's no more superstars now like that. I think the last breed of that was the Drake era, the J. Cole, the Wale, the 2010s. Like that last era was the last time you could breed that type of artist, because there was A&R and there was social media. It was a mixture. Now it's just social media. The A&Rs, the labels ain't putting much. There's even articles released basically revealing that labels aren't putting money into making superstars anymore. What they're doing is they're just dropping an album from the artist. They don't even care about first week sales anymore. They're just dropping the album. They're letting it do its thing, seeing how people react to certain songs, and whatever song's getting the most streams, they then pick that as a single and push that as a video. So now it's more reactive than proactive. Back in the 2000s or whatever years you want to mention, they would drop a single, they'll drop a second single, and then they'll drop the album, or they'll just drop one single and then they'll drop the album, and then eventually they'll decide what to shoot after that. But now it's like, hey, just drop the project. Who gives a fuck about first week sales? Let's see what the streaming looks like, and then let's shoot a video for whatever song is popping first. Because one, it's less risky, because you're not shooting a video for a song that could potentially not even work. The people might not even like it. So you're wasting money shooting a video, wasting money promoting the song when people might not even like that song. They'll end up choosing something completely different off the album. So it's less risk on that end. They can just drop the album. Hey, if it does 10,000 copies first week, who gives a shit? We'll see how it performs, and then what song's performing the best, and we'll start pushing that. Yeah, the days of like first week sales and massive album sales have been gone for a long time. People just haven't noticed. There's only been a few artists that have been maintaining to do that, and it's a very small percentage. We're talking 1%, if that. So that superstar, rock star status, in my eyes, is forever gone. That's never coming back. I would be genuinely surprised if there's an artist that comes out in the next 5 years that reaches ever a superstar status. Because look, think about the last 5 years. It's 2025. From 2020 to 2025. Can you name an artist that came out from the 2020s till 2025 that is a superstar? I'm talking like this guy or girl is out here moving insane units. Everybody's going crazy. She or he is selling out stadiums like it's nothing, or at least arenas of 15 to 20,000 people every night like it's nothing, because stadiums are bigger, but arenas, whatever. Sabrina Carpenter, I don't know. That's probably one person that right now is popping, that who knows if she's going to last. They don't have these superstars anymore, man. They're gone. They're gone. They're long gone. It's, I think because there's so many famous people too now, because of social media, there's a lot more variety. Celebrities don't have that spark anymore, that thing because the access to being on TV, to being in front of people's faces was a lot less back in the 2000s and the 90s and 80s and all that. You had to go through a whole process to try to get on TV. Now you can be in front of people like you guys watching this podcast on YouTube. I'm on your guys' computer screen, phone screen, whatever. I'm not going through a publication or not going through a TV network or none of this stuff. It's solely in the person's hands now. So there's a lot more to pick and choose from. So the celebrity status is gone too. A lot of that stuff just, because think about how many content creators have reached that huge level where, if they move around, they're just shutting down everywhere. I mean, I Show Speed, he's shown a perfect example of that when he goes around, all of a sudden, well, he is live streaming. So that does help when everybody knows where you're at. They're obviously going to come there, but it's very minimal on that end too. It's hard to build a superstar in today's time. It's just, there's too much of the tension moving around now. It's no more longer just, oh, we see an artist on MTV, on BET, on CMT, and whatever other channel that they would be on sometimes, now it's you can see artists on YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, all these other platforms, Snapchat, wherever you want to go, you'll see it. Yeah, but shout out to Lil Uzi Vert, man. He has a long career. He's still relevant to this day, and I don't think he's falling off anytime soon. So, yeah, he kind of proved Ebro wrong, and Ebro kind of has a point as well, man. That superstar status, he did come out in, 2016? So he did, during that time, you could still build somewhat of a, superstar status at that time. But now it's way harder, way more competition. And, Ebro's like, oh, don't say that. That's an excuse. Like, no, I mean, it's legit. Nowadays, labels, radio stations, whatever, are not pushing a specific artist anymore. Now they're just like, what's hot at this moment? Let's put money behind that and make money off it. I mean, I talked to Shaw Money XL about this during our interview. I was like, nowadays it's just reactive versus proactive. They're not finding some rough artist in the dirt that's a great artist like Justin Bieber on the sidewalk that was playing his guitar, singing, and then building that artist up. I mean, when Justin Bieber first came out, he was doing like 10,000 copies the first week. It was My World, that album. They pushed the shit out of that to the point where now, let me actually see what the updates on that is. I'm genuinely curious. Justin Bieber, RIAA. Let's see where he's at with My World. Let me actually put it into albums because there's a lot of singles this guy has. And I do not want to go through all that. So, format, album. Let's see. Does he have that album updated? Yeah. So My World, his first album ever, the last update on that was in 2020 of June. That's at 3 million sold. My World 2.0, which is actually the bigger album because it had, I think, Baby on there. That is at 4 million sold. So these two albums were technically one album. They just split it because, they're smart in doing that to make more money. So yeah, 3 million copies. And I'm sure when this updates, could easily be at, and this is before streaming, by the way. This album came out when physical CDs were selling in 2009. So this could easily be at 5, 6, 7 million. Let's see if he's got close of a diamond album anywhere. So Purpose, that album is at 6 million sold. Justice, let's see. Believe. Yeah, that's old. That hasn't been updated. I'm about to do a post on Justin Bieber shit not being updated. Yeah, so Purpose is his biggest album. That was updated in 2023. 6 million sold. So, yeah, crazy, man. Crazy, but to a certain extent, they both have great points, Wale and Ebro. But what do you guys think? 50 Cent is clowning Starz for losing out a lot of money. I mean, we're talking hundreds of millions. So let's go over the article. Starz is going through financial woes for a few different reasons now, and 50 Cent thinks they are all cause for some trolling. While folks could chalk up their struggles to him cutting ties with the network, their ongoing split from Lionsgate and a few other factors might be more consequential. Nevertheless, 50's happy to take the credit, of course. Via Instagram, he reacted to a news article from Hollywood Reporter that indicated a $53 million loss for the network. Starz' third quarter 2025 earnings report indicated an 8% drop off in revenue from last year to this one, going from $347 million to $321 million. With this in mind, it's hard to ignore how the fifth-led Power universe is still one of its biggest hits right now. Maybe they would have collaborated on more series and projects that would have led to success. That is, if their relationship hadn't been broken down. Fifth's beef with Starz goes all the way back to 2022 and stems from their handling of his G-Unit products. Now they're facing financial trouble. He's happy to laugh in their faces. And he posted the article, obviously the losses. He says, see what happens when I stop working. Let's make Starz great again. MSGA, make Starz great again. The network had reportedly lost a few months ago $42.5 million from dwindling subscriber numbers. General drop-offs in domestic customers and the alleged underperformance of BMF and other shows. That program, notable, emerges from the 50 universe, but he blames those factors on how the higher-ups treated his projects. It's not that hard to say goodbye by the 50-year-old expressed at the time. 50 Cent also accused Starz of underpaying him back when he was executive producing the show. Apparently, they only gave him $17K per episode, which he viewed as robbery since he also acted in the theme song. Yeah, it's a huge hit. But you got to prove yourself in the industry, especially when you go in something new. So 50 knows that. So getting paid $17K per whatever show or episode, I get it. Very low, but you got to prove yourself, and then the bag goes up. That's just, 50's proven himself in music, but proving yourself in TV is a whole different world. So, and he's done that. He's got his whole unit films and television and the building up there and all that. So, yeah, man, a lot of this, be honest with you guys, man, I haven't watched anything 50 related on TV in a long time. Like I said before, I watched the original the original Power show. And then after that, I never really followed up with the whole spinoffs and whatever else, Raising Kanan and Force and all these other ones. I just never, I don't know. Here's the thing. I had a big critique when it comes to 50 and his acting. So when Power initially came out, I was like, man, this is going to be trash. Like, why is 50 going down this route? I just want music, blah, blah, blah. And then Power turned out to be really good. So, you know, I doubted and I was proven wrong. I feel some of his acting is subpar. It's not really that good. So maybe behind the scenes stuff, he's better executing. I don't know. He chose to reinvent himself in the way of doing film and television, and I get it. But there's a lot he could have, done a lot of different things. But it is what it is, man. Film and television is his route, and I think he can have major success if he actually decides to, invest in different type of projects. Because there's too much of just like, oh, let's do this gang show. Let's do this show about this. Let's do this show about murder. Like, he is a funny guy. A lot of people find him really funny. So, like, why not have 50 in like a Ice Cube, Are We There Yet type of like funny comedy? Like, I think he could pull that off. Like, I'm surprised he hasn't decided to go that route. I think it would be really interesting. But, hey, it is what it is, man. That's a question that I got for 50 if I ever get a chance to interview him. Yeah, I think that would be really cool, but we'll see what happens moving forward with Starz. All right, so Billboard did their biggest songwriter of the century on Billboard's Hot 100 list. And I want to go over this list because I think some of it is bullshit, as usual. Rock Nation is doing their genuine, dibble and dabbling with these publications and getting Jay-Z out there to be like one of the best ever, as usual. Here's the thing, man, what I notice. Whenever Twitter starts to critique Jay-Z and all this stuff, and people start to, say Jay-Z's music really ain't that and all this, all of a sudden, these platforms are writing articles and praising him and saying, oh, he's dominated in every decade that he's dropped music. He's this, he's that. He's such a genius. Like, we get it, guys. But let's go over this full list. I actually want to go over this full list and see why Drake, ranked this high up. And let's see. So the list goes like this. I'm going to go over every single person on this list. So it's only 25 people. It starts with Jay-Z at number 25. Which I'm not surprised, man. Somehow the Rock Nation guy has to get his hands to something. Total hot number ones as a writer, 2000 to 2024, is 6. Longest leading hot number one as a writer, 2000. Longest leading hot number one as a writer, 2000. Beyonce featuring Sean Paul, Baby Boy, 9 weeks at number 1. Come on. He wrote fucking Beyonce's part beginning October. Okay, cool. So he has the longest leading hot number 1, and he wrote it for Beyonce. Oh my God. I didn't know this includes fucking other people's songs that you're writing for, but okay. So Kanye, I didn't know he was a fucking writer either. This is hilarious because all I heard from Kanye was people writing for him. He's a producer. He's not a rapper. Longest leading hot number ones as a writer. Kanye West featuring Jamie Foxx, Gold Digger, 10 weeks at number 1, beginning September 17th, 2005. Okay, so he's right ahead of his mentor. Sean Garrett, total number 1 weeks as a writer, 2000, 2024, 7. Longest leading hot number 1 as a writer. Usher featuring Lil Jon, Ludacris. Yeah. Hey, man, that's okay. I didn't know he wrote that. Fergie is at number 22. Black Eyed Peas, I Got a Feeling, 14 weeks at number 1. Okay, so she wrote part of that. Jermaine Dupri is at number 21. Really cool. Mariah Carey, We Belong Together, 14 weeks at number 1. Okay, very cool. Weeknd is at number 20. He has the song The Hills, 6 weeks at number 1. Okay, so he's got 7 songs as number 1s on the Hot 100. Cool. Pharrell Williams. Robin Thicke featuring T.I. and Pharrell, Blurred Lines, 12 weeks at number 1. He's got 7 songs on the Hot 100 as number 1s that he wrote. By the way, these aren't like these guys' songs. These are songs that they had a part in writing. This next guy, Philip Lawrence, he's at number 18. He's got 8 number 1s, and then his longest number 1 is Mark Ronson featuring Bruno Mars, Uptown Funk, 14 weeks at number 1. Justin Bieber is at number 17, which 8 weeks. He has 8 songs at number 1, and his longest charting song is Despacito. 16 weeks at number 1. Damn, I did not know that song was that long. Benny Blanco. Now, this guy I heard, he's a great writer, man. I heard a lot of great things. So this guy, got to give him props, man. I heard he's really good at what he does. 8 songs that he has at number 1. The longest number 1 he's had is TikTok, which is the Kesha song. Wake up in the morning feeling like P. Diddy, which aged horribly. Jack Ontoff is another guy I heard that he's a great writer. Number 15. He's got 8 number 1s, and then Taylor Swift Anti-Hero was 8 weeks at number 1. Timbaland at number 14. He's got 8 number 1s, and then Justin Timberlake Sexy Back 7 weeks at number 1. Katy Perry at number 13. 9 number 1s, and Katy Perry, I Kissed the Girl, 7 weeks at number 1. Ariana Grande at number 12. That's interesting. 9 number 1s, and then Ariana Thank You Next, 7 weeks at number 1. Interesting. Louis Bell at number 11. I have no idea who this guy is, but let's see. 9 hot number 1s, hot 100 number 1s, and the longest charted one is Post Malone, 21 Savage, Rockstar. He wrote some of that? Okay. So Post Malone probably didn't write, because I don't know if, I doubt it that 21 Savage got a writer. Usually hip-hop artists don't. Bruno Mars at number 10. That's surprising as well. 9 number 1 hits as a writer. Mark Ronson, Bruno Mars, Uptown Funk, 14 weeks at number 1. Circuit, I have no idea who this white guy is. Hot number 1's 9, and then he has the longest charted one is Maroon 5, Girls Like You, 7 weeks at number 1. So how do they choose? Would some of these have a little bit more? Some of these are very close to each other. Shellback is at number 8 with 10 number 1s as a writer. And then Maroon 5, One More Night, 9 weeks at number 1. Tor Hemminson. Yeah, some of these writers, I have no idea who they are. 10 number 1s with Beyonce Irreplaceable, 10 weeks at number 1. Mikkel Erickson at number 6 with 10 songs on the number 1. And Beyonce Irreplaceable is the longest leading. So how did this guy get ahead of the other guys? Same shit. Beyonce is at number 5. Of course, the Rock Nation brunch is pushing really hard on this one. 11 number 1s as a writer. And the longest charted one is Destiny Child's Independent Woman Part 1, 11 weeks at number 1. Taylor Swift, the number 4. 12 number 1 songs with her longest charted one is Anti-Hero, 8 weeks at number 1. Drake is at number 3 with 14 number 1 songs. And his longest charting song at number 1 is God's Plan. God's Plan, 11 weeks at number 1. And what's crazy is people are going to be like, oh, Drake's not a writer. He's got ghostwriters. Blah, blah, blah. Well, a lot of people on this list seem like they got ghostwriters, but it is what it is, man. Dr. Luke is at number 2. I've never heard of this guy. 18 number 1s as a writer. That's crazy. Cash at TikTok is the longest one at 9 weeks. And then the number 1 guy, I have no idea who this guy is. Once again, Max Martin. Sounds like a writer. He has 26 number 1s. Holy moly, guacamole. This guy is doing some numbers here. Maroon 5, One More Night, 9 weeks at number 1. So I'm about to look up who the fuck is Max Martin. My guy, Max Martin, 21 number 1s. God bless your soul, Max Martin. You out here doing numbers. Has co-written 28 Billboard Hot 100 number 1 singles, 26 of which he has produced or co-produced. An all-time record for the chart as of March 2024. Damn, so he's written or helped co-write Maroon 5's One More Night, Katy Perry's I Kissed a Girl, Taylor Swift's Shake It Off, Blank Space, The Fate of Ophelia, The Weeknd's Can't Feel My Face, Blinding Lights, and Save Your Tears. Blinding Lights is one of the best performance songs of all time, according to the chart. Damn, this guy's wrote a lot of shit, man. Now that's a ghostwriter. Y'all hype up all these ghostwriters in hip-hop? This motherfucker bringing out hits. He's a hit machine. This is the guy you guys got to call, man. Damn, look at this list. He did Baby One More Time, Britney Spears. This is a 1998. They ain't counting that because that's a 1998. It's only for this decade. It's going to be Me by NSYNC, I Kissed a Girl by Katy Perry, So What by Pink, Kelly Clarkson, My Life Will Be Stuck Without You, 3 by Britney Spears, California Girls with Katy Perry and Snoop Dogg. A lot of Katy Perry records. Yeah, a lot. Some Taylor Swift, some Weeknd, some Justin Timberlake, but a lot of Katy Perry. So he was helping Katy Perry a lot. There's at least 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 Katy Perry records. Interesting. Yeah, interesting list, man. But Jay-Z being on there, definitely. Come on, man. Y'all flexing with these lists, bro. This is the problem, man. The Rock Nation, they just had to do it. They just had to fit Jay-Z in there and Beyonce. But yeah, whatever, man. Congratulations to all of them. I'm just trolling with the Jay-Z thing. Congratulations to him. I do think as songwriters, like if we're actually looking at content, there's a lot of better rappers but they go off charts and who helped with this and who didn't help with that, blah, blah, blah. But that's the list. Really cool. Drake, not surprised he's in the top 3. And I'm sure if they do this list 10 years from now, he'll probably be number 1 because he's on that path. He's not going to beat that Max guy, whatever his name is. What's his name? I just forgot his name. That's how quickly I forgot this guy's name. No disrespect to you, sir. Max Martin, yeah. 28, to be 28 is going to be, Drake's got 14, so he's got to start writing for, like, pop artists, man. Sabrina Carpenter, start writing hits for her, start writing hits for a lot of people. But they should do a list with just, like, the actual artists, like, themselves, their music, not, like, writers involved, too. I think Drake would be number 1 as far as, like, his own music, I think. Because I don't think Taylor Swift has more. Yeah, Taylor Swift is behind Drake. Taylor Swift has 12. Drake has 14. So if we're doing just the artists themselves, songwriting, like the actual artists and not like the actual, like songwriting, but the artist is obviously written the record, regardless of co-writers, whatever. Drake's number 1 then, if you do that, like that. And a lot of people will be added onto this list because some of these people are not really known. They're just writers. But overall, interesting list, man. Let me know what you guys think of it. It's pretty cool. Pretty cool list. NBA YoungBoy has decided to officially respond to NLE Choppa. If you don't know, NLE Choppa decided to randomly diss NBA YoungBoy, essentially for clout, because NBA YoungBoy is out here killing it on the tour, making 70, 80 million in the top 10 touring lists in hip-hop. So let's go over it. NBA YoungBoy and NLE Choppa, now going by NLE the Great, have had beef for years now. While the latter is previously wanted to bury the hatchet with the former, he changed his tone with the KO diss track a few weeks ago. It took aim at YoungBoy for his supposed negative influence on the youth, and Choppa's love for him hasn't stopped him from doubling down on the feud. Now it seems like the Baton Rouge lyricist has finally responded via a new Zero IQ freestyle diss track and music video on YouTube. While it's pretty general retort to his haters and romantic woes, some lines on here talk about the NLE situation. Let's go over it. He said, respond to him, he ain't never ran nothing down, bitch. I said, no, NBA YoungBoy rapped on the cut. As such, it's one of those not responding is a response sort of lines that kind of meet the beef halfway. So I agree with this type of response, man. You don't really, NBA YoungBoy is at a whole, he's reached a different level. And I actually want to talk about this debate, but I'm going to do this for the next video. It's going to be about who influenced the youth more. Chief Key for NBA YoungBoy. I'm going to have that debate next podcast episode because that's going to be an interesting debate. And I want to provide myself numbers and kind of go over everything. But let's get back to this. Other lines might also land at the Memphis rappers' feet, but they are pretty general attacks at the end of the day. So even though the context of this beef is hard to ignore on this cut, it's not exactly the outright response track some fans wanted. Nevertheless, we think YoungBoy will continue to speak through success and not treat this super seriously, at least for now, depending on what NLE Choppa does. But NLE Choppa decided to respond. Seemingly, he reacted to it. He posted a video and said this.
You pussies don't know though. You hear me? Y'all don't know that boy in trouble. Y'all don't know that boy in trouble. Y'all don't know that boy in trouble. But I do, nigga. I do, nigga. And y'all think I'm crazy. I'm the fool. Okay, watch how this shit pan out. And we gonna really see who really the fucking fool. And we really gonna see who really the fucking one. Pussy wipe that spit off your face, bitch. That boy in trouble.
So that's his response. He's saying that boy's in trouble. Yeah, I don't know where this is going to go. I think NBA YoungBoy shouldn't respond just because, I think NLE Choppa hasn't been, I don't want to say this like he hasn't been relevant, but this is a great way to get him in conversations, musically again, because he hasn't really had anything that's really hit like that in a minute. But yeah, that's my take on it. We'll see what happens moving forward, but this is a new battle that's going on right now. Kodak Black has launched his own crypto coin, and I'm only talking about this to tell you guys to please stay away from this stuff. Any celebrity that launches a crypto coin, really any person in general for the most part, 90%, 95%, are scamming you. They want you to put your money in. They're going to promise you, oh, this coin's going to be used for this, this, and this. And you're just going to get robbed out of money, and the market value is going to go down on it, and you lose all your money. So Kodak Black launched a coin. It's a money sign called YAK, Y-A-K. The announcement arrived during his annual Kodak Day celebration on November 11th, held at the Golden Arcs, a housing project in Pompano Beach. This is the same neighborhood where he spent his early years. The Yak token was distributed directly to fans during the event and given supporters an immediate introduction to the digital experience Kodak is building. In collaboration with Audius, a leading decentralized music platform, the rapper's new coin serves as a gateway to exclusive content. Holders of Yak will gain access to premium perks. Some of these perks include unreleased music, stems, and song components, behind-the-scenes footage, and other drops delivered regularly to members of the token's community. Furthermore, for Kodak, the move represents an evolution in how artists can reward their most committed fans. The token's name carries personal significance as well. Yak stands for You Already Know. Yeah, this is how they package this shit up, and I wouldn't be surprised if the CEO of Audius ends up getting sued later on for scamming and fraud and all that stuff, because that's where this literally heads down to. And it's unfortunate because you can create your own currency in today's world digitally, and instead of people doing right and trying to create something that's actually going to build a community and that's going to help your fans and, you know, create dope exclusive content, they say invest in this. They pull out their coins that they have, and you're left holding these coins, and the market value's gone to shit, and you lose all your money essentially. Because when you buy these coins, I mean, if you get them for free, obviously it's free money. But if you buy these coins at whatever market value and it just goes down, then you're losing your money. It's that simple. That's all this is. So it's packaged in a way where it's like, oh, look, if you buy this coin, you'll be way closer to me as a fan. Bullshit. Anybody that sells you this is straight up bullshit. Unfortunately, Kanye's done it. Unfortunately, a lot of the guy who Mr. Poopy Butthole, Lil Reese, who scammed his fans like 3 times. And it's unfortunate. If you're somebody that purchased something 3 times from that guy, you honestly deserve to get scammed, because after the first time, if you didn't learn. But he's done it like 3 times where he's launched a coin and just robbed people. And it's really prompting me to do a documentary on this, like a long format documentary where I'm just talking about all the artists that launched coins and just scammed people. I think Iggy Azalea is the only one in Waka Flocka Flame. Those 2 are the only ones that I can think of off the top of my head. I could be wrong, but these are the only 2 that I've seen that have constantly pushed their coin and stuck with it and still promote it and still push it and still, you know, try to do innovative things with it. The rest, announce it like this, it's going to be announced, and literally a month later, nobody's going to give a fuck, and Kodak's not going to give a fuck, and there's going to be nothing that comes out of it. And the guy, the CEO of Audius, is going to get sued eventually down the line for fraud and scamming by people. And that's how this thing usually goes. That's how 98% of these things go. Now, I could be wrong. I'm not saying that, hey, this is what their plan is. I have no idea. They could genuinely mean right by doing this. I'm just going by the statistics of 98% of people doing this. So stay away from this shit, man. That's all I'm here to tell you guys is don't fall for this shit. These guys are multimillionaires. They made plenty of money. If they blew all that money, that's on them. Don't feel bad for them, because you guys are out here. I'm out here. All of us are out here struggling day to day or working our asses off. And you got multimillionaires who decided to blow all their money, still begging their fans for more money. It's unfortunate, you know. Yeah. If he has given you content and you want to, you know, spend that money and you're a huge fan and he's giving you extra content, I'm all for that, man. There's nothing wrong with that. That I have no issue with. And that's what they're saying. If you buy the coin, you're going to get extra content from him. Is he going to deliver on that? Who knows? He might deliver some of it. He might not deliver some of it. I don't know. I can't say that he's going to be a scammer or not. Who knows? We'll see as, you know, I actually want to follow up with this, man. A month later, I just want to see if he's still going to be talking about this coin. Because a lot of these artists, they'll talk about it for that week and then you'll never hear about the coin ever again. So we'll see. I'm not going to say he's one way or another, man. Let's see actually the comments. I'm genuinely curious. I just want to see what the comments is. Look at this. The top comment. Whoever falls for this deserves it low-key. Kodak, let me hold a couple bands after the rug. The rug is when they pull the rug from up under you and take the money. And then you're left on your ass with no money. Just put my entire life savings on this. So obviously that's a troll. To those saying this is a scam, you're wrong. It's through Audius, a new music streaming platform. Every artist has their own token that's backed by Audius. It's like Apple Music / Spotify, but instead of getting paid half a penny for a stream, they're paid off their token. Kodak could choose to release exclusive music on Audius, and that you have to have Yak to listen to it. Audius is helping artists get paid what they deserve. compared to these BS big companies. Hey, if that's true, I'm all for it. I'm all for it. I don't know. We do not know yet. And yeah, so there's people saying it's a scam. Some people saying it's real. We'll see. We'll see how much Kodak pushes this. How much? Let me go actually. Yak.audis. Audis.ca, right? That's what it looks like. Or .co. Audis. It's like Audi US. Yeah, so it's here. By Yak. Let me actually look at the CA on this. Watch this shit. Because I know this shit, man. I've been into this. I've been looking at this. I know what this shit is, bro. I actually dealt with meme coins in 2024 quite a bit. And I didn't really win much. I did end up getting out of there with some money, but nothing like major. So look, let me actually show why this is a scam. Let's see here. The market cap is at 11 million. At its peak, when it was announced, it was at 12.85 million. So it's already dropped a significant amount. And if you look at the actual chart, you see that it's slowly dropping. There's a rug pull going on where it just hits this little chart and it just slowly starts to go down. So like right now, if I were to buy 11.1 market cap, I bet you in the next week, this shit's going to go down to, and actually just went down right now, it's actually 11. So that's what I'm saying. It's going down slowly. I would end up, this goes down, I would end up losing money as the time goes on. But it just is what it is, man. It is what it is. This is stuff that has happened lots of times, and it happens over and over again. And unfortunately, people fall for it, man. I fell for it one time, and I think this is right when I got into this, first time ever. I fell for it one time, and I don't know who, forget what celebrity launched, man. But I just got destroyed. Like, I got in because I was thinking, if I get in there quick, it's going to rise up and I can pull out my money. Nope. I got in at a point where right when it's at its peak and it just dropped, and I didn't lose a lot of money. I lost like $100, which still sucks, man. It's $100 that I get robbed of. But that's what I mean. Is like, this type of shit is the chances of you, it's like the lottery. The chances of you winning this and getting at the right time and making money is very slim. The only one where I actually made money that was a celebrity was Iggy Azalea, Waka Flocka, and Jason Derulo. Because Jason Derulo, he had an initial launch and it was high up, and then it just dropped down a lot. And then he said he was scammed, and he's like, I'm not here to scam my fans. I'm going to push this coin. So then he got to actually pushing the coin, and he was promoting it for like 5-6 months. So in that time, I happened to get in right at a low point because he meant it. He was like, man, I don't want to scam my fans. So he started pushing the coin, and it went from like a 3 million market cap to like 28 million. Unfortunately, I didn't put a lot of money in there, but I walked away with like profits of like 800, I think, or no, actually more than 800. I think like $1,600 profit, off of something that I only put like, I think $100 in maybe. So I walked away with an 18x or whatever the amount would be, which is great, obviously, but that one win, you have like 20 other losses. So you're like, when you have that type of win, you just want to take a break from it and just chill, because if you're thinking you're on a hot streak, that's not how this shit goes. So I didn't really walk away with a lot of money when it comes to a lot of this meme shit, but it's at the end of the day, 90% of it, actually higher, I want to say 98% of it is a scam. It's very, very hard to actually have profits on this. Like, it's a very small percentage that actually win. Don't look at these meme coin millionaires and these Bitcoin million. A lot of them scam, and one of them got their heads chopped off. They got decapitated because they were just scamming people out of crypto. And eventually they ended up going to Dubai, and they got caught in the wrong place, and they got their heads decapitated. Literally, it was a couple. So this shit is just, it's rampant out here. A lot of scamming going on. And it's unfortunate that, more governments don't get involved and actually catch these people and actually give them fair punishment, man. There's all here stealing hundreds of millions of dollars from people. Hard-working people, man, that just want to try to make it in their own way. But that's just, hey, man, that's just the shitty part about life, man. If I'm out here selling you guys a crypto coin, which I'm not going to say never, because who knows where crypto goes in the future. It could be actually a valuable asset, and it could be something that we utilize as digital, currency really well. So I'm not going to say never, but if I ever sell you guys a crypto coin, it has to be like a valid, reason. Let's just say I'm starting my own movie production company, right? And like how Kodak is doing with this, saying, this is going to get exclusive stuff like this. Yeah, but I just, even then, like, it has to make sense, and I would never push something that I'm not actually behind and actually will be with it. So if I ever think about pushing a crypto coin to you guys and saying, hey, purchase this, it is something that I've thought out very, very thoroughly, and I can see myself using this 10 years down the line, 20 years down the line, whatever. But I don't see myself doing that anytime soon, or ever, really. But I'm not going to say that ever, because never is forever. So, yeah, it's just, most of the time it's a scam, guys. Just stay the fuck away from it. Save your money, whether it's $10, $15 you put into it. Just don't do it. Go spend your money. Go spend that $10 and get yourself a meal somewhere, or buy some flowers for your mom or something like that. I don't know. But don't spend it on fucking these multimillionaires who are well off, that, don't need the money. They're well off, man. But yeah, that's my take on it. That's why I talked about it. I hate this shit. And the more I can talk about it and expose it, the better. So that's my take on it. Kendrick Lamar and SZA officially shattered the highest grossing hip hop tour record. And it's only, how many shows are reported? Only 34 out of the 47 shows have officially been reported. So they've already broken the record. They're probably going to go to an even astronomical amount of numbers. So let's go over the article. It's been several months since Kendrick Lamar and SZA embarked on their co-headlining Grand National Tour, and now they have yet another impressive accomplishment to celebrate. The tour has become the highest grossing hip-hop tour of all time, and there's still more shows to come. Reportedly, it's managed to rake in more than a staggering $332.1 million so far. This is far from the first exciting milestone the Luther artists have reached in the recent months. However, they broke records immediately upon kicking off the tour with a performance in Minneapolis and Minnesota in April. The show because the biggest, highest grossing hip hop show in history, grossing $9.12 million, thanks to a whopping 47,354 supporters. The Grand National Tour is scheduled to close on December 14th, following shows in Melbourne, Ballarat, Perth, Sydney, and more. SZA will not join Kendrick for the Australian leg of the tour, though. It will feature Schoolboy Q as a supporting act. Big round of applause. Obviously, an insane feat, because once all these shows are reported, 34 out of 47 is already at 332 million. We can expect probably 450 million, 400 to 450 million, maybe even 500 million. Maybe that's a big reach, but still. Big numbers. What we have to remember, though, this is not taking credit away from Kendrick Lamar. I want to make this very clear. This is not taking credit away from Kendrick Lamar. Drake only does arenas while Kendrick Lamar does stadiums. There's actually a few things. So Drake does arenas, which is 15,000 to 20,000 people, usually, or potentially lower than 15,000, depends on what it is. And the reason why Drake does that is because he says, artist-wise, I want to be closer to my fans. Arenas are more tightly knit packed. You can move around a little bit better. Stadiums are just the artists in like one area. It's a bunch of fucking people. So it's harder to connect with fans like that. And a lot of people who've done shows agree. I've talked to somebody who was booking 50 Cent's Final Lap and Chris Brown's Breezy Bowl. And they said like arenas are way better for hip-hop shows. There's more connection there, right? So if Drake decided to do stadiums, he would potentially match this record or break it. And I was actually arguing with somebody on Twitter about this, and he's like, oh, well, then if Drake could do stadiums, he would do them. And I'm like, dude, he literally sold out. There's some areas where he sold out 4 nights in a row, like it was nothing, like seconds. 15,000, 15,000, 15,000, 15,000. You add that up, what is that, 60,000 people in 4 days? Immediately sold out tickets? Because he's doing arenas, so he has to do more of those shows. But if he decided to do one show with a stadium with 60,000 people, he could do that, because he's clearly sold out 60,000 tickets with 4 separate shows of arenas. So I think it's very, that person was arguing stuff, and I'm like, dude, it's very dumb to assume. Like, I will literally bet anybody right now $10,000 that Drake would sell out stadiums. Like, no problem. Anybody who's saying that he would have a problem doing that is ridiculous. Well, that's the first thing, is that, Drake never did stadiums, so of course Kendrick's going to beat the numbers because he's doing stadiums. The second thing is Eminem hasn't toured ever. I think Eminem would break all the records. I think if Eminem decided to do one last tour, which he should do, honestly, because fans like me who have grown up, who have never seen him live, it would be really cool to see him live, and I would go to the show. So if Eminem decided to do stadiums, which he would do stadiums, and just decided to tour around the world, he would break. I would not be surprised if he brought in like 700 million. Easily could bring in 700, 800, maybe even $1 billion I don't know if anybody's ever brought in a bill. I think Taylor Swift has brought in a bill. Yeah, so he could do Taylor Swift numbers, no problem. So we have to remember that there's some artists that, touring is only limited to what the artist is doing. There's some artists that could easily fill out these. So that's not no disrespect to Kendrick, by the way. He is definitely top 3 in touring, no doubt. It's Drake, it's Kendrick, and then if Eminem decides to tour, he would be in that list easily. Other than that, I can't really think of any other artists that would do insane numbers. I mean, 50 did the final lap and did 5 million with a bunch of shows because his tickets were cheaper, and it was independent. There's no Live Nation. There's no company that's pushing. It's just 50 doing his thing. So a lot of these shows too, they're also pushed by major companies, which helps with promotion and all that. So 50 did great for an artist who hadn't released music in 10, 11 years, whatever. At the time it was 2023, so it would have been basically almost 10 years, 9 years, because 2014 was Animal Ambition, so 2023, 9 years, yeah, at that time. So it's a long time, man, not releasing music and still doing great numbers. But yeah, obviously Kendrick is at his, he's still at his career, he still has it going, and SZA's a huge support of that, Kendrick and SZA. I mean, SZA's doing insane numbers as well, so them two together, would do numbers. There's no problem with that. I think Drake, I would like to see a Kendrick Lamar solo tour, which I think Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers was. I would like to see just Kendrick Lamar and just Drake, which the chance of that happening is slim because usually you do have to have like co-headliners or you got to have like, supporting acts or whatever the undercard of the shows are. But if they were like Drake and like, no disrespect, but let's just say who would be somebody under Drake that wouldn't really bring in a lot of audience. So you could say it's like, because see with 50, he had Busta Rhymes, Jeremiah. Like, let's be honest. Who the fuck was going to the shows for Busta Rhymes and Jeremiah? No disrespect to Busta Rhymes. My eyes killing me right now. But no disrespect to Busta Rhymes, but Busta Rhymes wasn't doing his own tour like this ever. You had some people discrediting 50 and saying, oh, it's because Busta Rhymes. I'm like, come on, bro. Busta Rhymes, when was the last time that the guy's fucking toured? Let's be honest. When is the last time that guy did a full fucking tour and actually sold it out and did crazy shows? So it's not, so that's what I mean. Like Drake, if he had somebody under him that he's not like a small artist, but he hasn't done tours. Let's just say The Game, right? The Game hasn't done an America tour in a long time. So having him under Drake, would be like, okay, it's not, people aren't going there for Game. They're going there for Drake. That's the clear, that's no disrespect to Game. Game just hasn't toured. I mean, he had the 20-year anniversary documentary tour, and I don't think he had any shows in America. I think they were all overseas. Because imagine if he tried to set up all America. The chances of he'd probably do 5,000 each area, maybe, if that. If that's what I mean. Like Kendrick and Drake, if they had their own show, like tours with no other like co-headline or no other big star under them, I would like to see those numbers. I would genuinely. I think Drake could do stadiums, no problem. I think Kendrick could too, because he's already proven it with SZA, but by himself, I think he could do it as well. I think he did that with more Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers. But yeah, round of applause. Big, huge thing for Kendrick. He's probably going to clear 400, 450, maybe even 500 million. And then it's going to be a while before somebody surpasses that, unless Eminem decides to tour. Please, Eminem, if you're watching this video, somehow, some way you're watching this video, please tour. Please. Not only for I don't give a shit about the record. I could care less. That doesn't concern me. I just want to see you live. And I missed the opportunity to see you live when 50 was doing the final lap because I'm a fucking moron. But yeah, that's it. Big round of applause to them, and shout out to Kendrick and SZA. Let's get into new music, and we got Meek Mill with Indie Pack, the EP, T Grizzly, Street Solemn's album, Boozy and NBA YoungBoy, 225 Business, the album. Then they dropped a collab album. That's interesting. Kevin Gates and Rick Ross, I'm a Dog remix. Boo. Kevin Gates working with the cop. Wale, Everything Is a Lot, the album. Shout out to him. Ice Spice, Big Guy. Lil Peep, Romeo's Regrets EP. Summer Walker finally over its album. So a couple projects out here. Album sales. Taylor Swift is still at number 1 at The Life of a Showgirl. 109,000 sold. Still doing over 100,000 per week. Really cool. Morgan Wallen, number 2. I'm the Problem with 76,000. K-Pop Demon Hunters soundtrack, number 3 with 75,000. Rosalia Lux, number 4 debut with 47,000. Olivia Dean, The Art of Loving, number 5 with 40,000. Sabrina Carpenter, Man's Best Friend, number 6 with 36,000. SZA SOS, number 7 with 31,000. Morgan Wallen, One Thing at a Time, number 8 with 30,000. Yo June, No Labels, Part 01, number 9 debut at 28,000. And Somber, I Barely Know Her, number 10 with 28,000. Going down the list, Cardi B, In My Drama, number 14 with 25,000. G Herbo debuted at number 15 with Lil Herb at 24,000. Drake, Take Care, number 22 with 19,000. 19,000. NBA YoungBoy Massa at number 23 with 19,000. Going down the list, Party Next Door and Drake, Some Sexy Songs for You, number 28 with 17,000. Tyler, the Creator, Chromacopia, number 30 with 16,000. Kendrick Lamar, GNX, number 33 with 15,000. Gunna, the last one, number 35 with 15,000. Michael Jackson, Thriller, number 43 with 14,000. Eminem, Curtain Call, number 44 with 14,000. Playboi Carti, Music, number 47 with 14,000. And Drake, Views at number 49 with 13,000. Great numbers, man. Great numbers. And that's it for today's episode of the Diverse Mentality Podcast. I feel like I talked my ass off on this podcast episode, and it is very long. 1 hour and what? Yeah, ridiculous. I don't know why. I'm very talkative in this podcast episode. But hope you guys enjoyed it. Spotify, Deezer, Podcast, YouTube, all that. Have an amazing night, day, whenever you listen to this, and peace.